Would you guys like to learn how to start a successful chauffeur agency business? Well, today we'll have a business and coffee vlog with Dan, the owner of Total Chauffeur Service business in London, a successful business who generated over £1 million in revenue last year. We just stopped for a short break and we'll be in London in around 20 minutes, so stay with us. If you want to become a citizen of NV Cars and Stories, don't forget to subscribe, give us a like and share these videos with your friends. I'll see you soon. And how did you find the transition between having a job and then jumping straight on your own business?
Yeah, it was completely different. I think it's really important. I think you have to have these connections in business, and also the best business you could ever get is referral business. We can provide in any location armoured vehicles, convoy drivers, armed bodyguards, anything through to that secured side. Security drivers that are cleared to work with police checked.
Would you do anything different if you'll start again? Hi Dan.
Hello.
How are you? All right?
Very well, thanks. Yourself?
Good. Thank you for the time, and I appreciate sharing your story with us. What you gonna teach us today?
Gonna really teach you about ground transportation on a worldwide scale and how to run that business, basically. So,
can you tell us a bit more about your background, about yourself, and how did you start in this business?
Yeah, sure. So a bit about myself. Obviously, went to university. I actually did a degree in sports management.
Management.
So not using it now. Came out of university and actually spent a couple of years in the city in recruitment. And then I joined Total Chauffeur Service in 2012.
2012?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And why did you start this business? So you was in the university, you had a job, and how did you decide to start the business?
Yeah, well, essentially, my dad, my father had set it up. He had set it up in 2008. So he had come out of a successful career in the chauffeur industry, and he had set Total Chauffeur Service up in 2008. And then we expanded and grew, and he needed someone to come on board and help run the sales campaign for the company. And it just worked very well, that transition of, I was in a sales role anyway.
Yeah.
You know, family business, and that's why I decided to come into the business. So.
This business gave you more time, or did you have more time when you was employed?
More time to myself.
Yeah, obviously working more now than on
Yeah, no, yeah, I had a lot more time to myself when I was employed at a big company. Yeah. You know, this business definitely consumes you, and it's a 24-hour business, definitely. So.
And how is your father started the business? You said back in 2008. That was something new on the market then, is it?
Well, he's been in the ground transportation industry for over 25 years. He worked for an American limousine company, and he set up the UK operations for that company. Right. And a bit like every successful person, when he was working in that company, he thought he could do a better job himself with his own company. Exactly. And that's when he decided to incorporate our company in 2008. So.
But he was ready, he knew about it.
He had a good client base, he knew the business inside out, and it was the right time to do it, so.
What would be the steps to start a business like this?
First things first, you need to understand the client base. You need to know which direction you want to go in with that. So the chauffeur industry is split, in my perception, into two areas. One's the corporate world and one is the leisure world. So, and you can do both, but you have to, I think, to be successful, you have to choose one area, and then if you want to go down the corporate side, then you've got to assume that the luxury side of is going to come in a different angle. So you need to identify first your client base, then you need to get some clients first and foremost, But really you need to make sure you're flexible. You need to make sure that you are very, very resilient. There's a lot of competition in the market, so you need to identify yourself a certain USP.
Try and be different, like,
exactly.
than anyone else if you want to be successful.
Absolutely. I think there's a stat. There's like 25,000 private hire vehicles in London.
Oh,
so you
25,000.
Yeah. So you have to really identify yourself. Identify a USP that's going to make you stand out, basically, and that's I would say, your first steps.
And of course, I think, like on my company as well, trying to go on 5 different niches will be all right, maybe, you know. But if you concentrate in 2 or 3, maybe there'll be a higher chance for success, you know, because you'll be better on these 3 niches. Yeah,
definitely. You definitely need a direct approach, especially, let's say, for instance, you're looking at setting it up to target the corporate world. You can't just take a scattergun approach, and you have to say, right, the corporate world's okay. I'm gonna try and service the financial institutions. I'm gonna try and get into the movie and production business. I'm gonna try and get into VIP, celebrity, etc. You can't just say I'm gonna get into everything, because it's impossible.
Yeah, you can't be the best on all of them. What will be the legal steps to open your business?
Well, first things foremost, you have to have a TfL license to operate in London. And that is actually the same if you're operating in any city in the UK or globally. You have to have a license with the governing body. So you need to obtain that first. Once you have that, you're able to trade.
So that's like a license for the whole company, and then each driver will have to have another license?
That's correct, yeah. So every driver so the company has a TfL operator's license, and then the drivers have their private hire driver's license, yeah. So 2 steps, 2 licenses to obtain before you can even think about getting a passenger in your car, yeah.
How do you think you can get the first customers?
I think, from my experience, and I started, you know, selling to these clients before social media was big.
Yeah.
I would say nowadays you still need to be very active on social media to obtain different types of clients. But I think the best way to get clients in this industry is B2B sales. You know, actually picking up the phone to clients.
All right.
You know, telling them about your services, maybe set up some meetings, try and get in front of some people, even if it's just a very cold meeting, just to say, look, we're offering this service. In the future, it might be of interest to you. Do your research before. Make sure that you know, because only certain people in that company are going to be utilising a chauffeur car, and that will be the top level executives, basically. Especially with a chauffeur company, there's so many different things that can go wrong. So you know, you're at the mercy of the driver, the vehicle. So you have to really be stringent in your checks. You have to make sure that the vehicle is completely up to scratch, it's not going to break down, etc.
Right.
You have to make sure that you trust and get a good driver in that car who you can trust that's going to be on time, because that's the first thing that you will fall on. If you're 2 seconds late to a pickup to the client, you could be 2 seconds, you could be 20 minutes. They won't care.
Exactly, and probably that will make the difference here.
Absolutely, and if you're late, basically you will ruin that relationship. So definitely, in terms of monitoring, assessing the driver and the vehicle is the most important thing in this business.
How do you keep your life in balance?
Between like work and personal.
Yeah, work, because you said you're quite busy, and if you have a phone call at 3 o'clock, you will take it.
It's actually really hard. As I've mentioned before, we're a global business, so we operate in different time zones. And if I have a client in the US, for instance, who needs a service, they'll call me when it's there 3 p.m. It's not very nice for my wife. She gets a bit angry sometimes, but that's part and parcel, I think, of owning your own business, and that's what makes us so successful over companies who that call might go into, I don't know, an automated answering machine, and then they're called back, whereas we can react quickly because the client's coming straight to me. So I think I think you need to take like two or 3 hours a day of just doing something that you know, like I'll go to the gym, or I'd go for a walk or something like that. and then it really opens your mind and refreshes everything. So
It's hard, sometimes, because you work for yourself and you don't make that difference. That's it for today. I'm going home, and that even if you're home, you're still working, and you don't realize when time flies. And
definitely.
And then you realize this month you had only one day off, like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember a day in the last year where my phone I haven't received an email or a call or a text from a client, which is, as you say, it's your own business, so you want that.
You want that,
but it's tough. You do need to find a balance, definitely. At the moment, we're at a level where I can keep it up, and my father's still working in the company, and he has his own clients, and we have a couple of other people who look after some clients. So it's manageable at the moment. But yeah.
Did they prefer your father, or did you have the same customer, like working one day with you, and he was your father customer, And they'll say, look, I like your father.
Well, you're right. Like we have a very long-standing client, and it's funny. We were asked to do an event. And my father basically said, well, Daniel's looking after this now. And they said, oh, that's really nice, but we want you to come too. And I thought that was really nice. Like, I like that. And he was, so he did it as well. And and he's had that relationship for like 20 odd years. So they'd be very reluctant to not speak to him first. So that's nice.
Would you do anything different if you'll start again?
I don't think so, no. The only thing I'd probably do different is maybe go into certain industries quicker. Like for instance, we do a lot of work in the pharmaceutical industry now.
All right.
And I think if we maybe had gone into that, targeted that industry back in 2012 when I joined the company, it might have progressed a bit further on by now. But whereas we're doing very well in that industry now, but we could have probably scoped a lot of the market out. Maybe it's certain industries, but that's really it. Day-to-day management of the company, and driver selection that we've got, and partners we use worldwide. There's not much I'd do differently.
What kind of services do you offer?
So we offer a comprehensive global service to book a chauffeur car in over 350 cities worldwide. Whether that be a car, so the entry level in, for instance, Europe is a Mercedes E-Class, working all the way up to luxury vehicles like S-Classes, Range Rovers, anything through the luxury market. We also offer event services, so we support many corporate organisations who plan events for their company, and we've done 100 people, we've done 600 people, we've done 700 people from the airport to hotel, and anything in between. We work very closely with the motorsport industry, so we work with a lot of teams in the Formula One and the Formula E, for instance. So we manage the logistics globally for all the races and race locations. Essentially, we offer a comprehensive ground transportation solution, and obviously we are based here in London, but clients book with us throughout every continent.
So how is that possible?
So we have an established network of providers and partners who, this has been set up from my father being 25 years in the industry, having these relationships with these partners abroad. We actually monitor them in terms of, we make sure we have all their license details, we make sure we have their up-to-date list of drivers and vehicles stored in our system, so we can monitor that in compliance. And essentially, so we act as the kind of middleman or the broker. So we will send the job to our partner in, New York, Paris. We have a lot of clients who are based here, and they have global travellers, so they only ever have to send us a booking. They don't have to look for their provider in, Azerbaijan.
Exactly, because when you go there, actually, you don't know nothing about that company. You can find them, but you don't know their background,
Exactly.
So
you could easily find someone online, but with us, they're vetted, they're insured, they've got everything going for them in terms of the vehicles and the drivers. It's a peace of mind, basically.
Yeah, it is.
And another part to The transportation which we offer is the security side of things.
All right.
So we can provide in any location armoured vehicles, convoy drivers, armed bodyguards, anything through to that secured side. Security drivers that are cleared to work with police checked.
All right. Yeah.
So if anybody, we've had many requests on high-profile financial roadshows, for instance, where we've had to provide certain vehicles that are bulletproof and stuff like that. So we can also provide that service as well.
That's nice. Do you have this kind of customers often?
Not often, but more and more now we are finding the requests come through.
You guys can check my other videos on the channel to find out more about supercars and businesses. What is your goal in life?
For instance, I've got a baby daughter now.
Oh, congratulations.
So thank you. So first things first, to provide her with the best opportunity to grow up and flourish and have a good life. So I want to be at a stage where I'm, successful enough to have a nice life, basically. And, just like anyone, I suppose.
What that means for you? I was asking this question in the past. How much money do you think you need a month? Maybe as a passive income, or I don't know.
Yeah.
How much would you need a month to be happy and have a good life?
That's a very good question. I think you need like 10 grand a month.
As a passive income?
Yeah. To have the life you want.
Yeah.
Obviously more would be great. But, I think if you had that, and that's when all your mortgage and stuff's been paid.
Yeah.
You've just got £10,000 a month.
10,000 passive straight in your pocket, ready to be spent.
Yeah. That would be good. And then you can spend that on anything like holidays and cars. And I'd like to get the business to a level where it's almost like self-sufficient. So, turning over enough profit every year to add to the next year, and get to a stage where we can add some more staff.
I think each step will have the right time. What do you think about the connections? Because for me, I think they are quite important.
Yeah.
You can grow up your business easier with the right connections. Probably if you offer quality, and trust, the connections will grow your business up.
I think it's really important. I think you have to have these connections in business, and also the best business you could ever get is referral business. So, it beats any other type of method of gaining new clients. And so if you build up that network of connections through your own and other clients, then you'll see that reward definitely.
Which do you think is the secret for having a successful business?
I don't think there's a big secret. I think it's just a lot of hard work, dedication, and belief, really. If you have an idea of a business that you think will work, if you work hard at it and you put everything into it.
So what's happening if you have the idea, you're working hard, but it's not happening, straight away? You should work harder. That means you can push a bit more.
You should work, especially when you're creating a new company. You've got to put everything into that to get new clients, to get support you need behind you. I think the only way you're going to succeed is by believing in yourself, believing in your idea and your product, and working hard enough to get there, basically.
How did you find that thing, when you give up on your job and you jump in the company, and you was the one who should take the decisions? You can't rely on somebody else. So it's like, I'm thinking of that, but I don't need somebody else to tell me if it's all right or not. I'm sure, I'm confident.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that, coming out of a big company that, you weren't allowed to go down certain avenues.
Exactly, yeah.
But now you're here sitting in front of the whole world, and you could get any client you wanted, really. You just have to work for it.
Let's put these two scenarios. If you want to start your business, how would you find finance? Or if you have a business, how would you find finance?
I think I'd go for, if you had a product and you knew that you could definitely deliver on it, I think I would go down the route of like funding, in terms of, well, either you have to get a loan from the bank,
Yeah.
or you go through something like I think it's something called the funding circle out there, where it's kind of a loan, but basically what that money is, it's not a bank, it's people who are investing in it.
Yeah.
So they get a little bit of a return back. Any new company, I imagine, will need, funding from the off. That's whether you bought self-funding or you have to get help. But there's lots of different avenues to take. It's just, and again, if you believe in your product, you've got to put your money where your mouth is.
And probably having the best business plan for that, and showing that your product actually is something different and will work.
Yeah,
probably the funds will come after that if you go to the right people.
Absolutely.
And then if you have a business like you now and you need finance, probably will be a bit easier working with the banks.
Sure.
Or somebody who will invest in the company for a share or something.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you're an established company, of course. But yeah, if you're just starting out, but there are different avenues nowadays that people are looking into that help startups and stuff like that. So even the startup grants and stuff like that, it's worth looking into. But yeah, that's where I'd go down anyway. So.
All right, thank you. Do you have any other investments?
I invest in stocks and shares, and I do have a little bit invested in crypto,
as well,
but not to any degree of. Big degree.
What did you choose in crypto? Do you go for Bitcoin or
Bitcoin?
So you're classic. You go for Bitcoin.
Yeah, just because I don't know enough about it, really. But yeah, me and my wife have got a good, we've built up a good portfolio on shares. So we've invested in that probably the last 6-7 years.
So on these 6-7 years, that was profitable, is it? On the long term?
Yeah, and it's we have some in long-term accounts. And we have some where we have a look at the market and we've made some quick wins. Stuff like that. So yeah.
I invest in crypto as well.
Yeah.
So I go usually for long term now, but if the market is down, of course I'll go for short term as well.
Sure.
As you know, a 10% or a 20% I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for the ones who watch us, or they want to start their business, or they have their business? I don't know, the best advice you can give them.
Honestly, just to work hard and dedicate yourself to the business. Dedicate yourself to your clients, because they're the most important thing. Without clients, you'll never make any money. So make sure you are completely dedicated to the job, to the client, and you will succeed if you have a good product.
Nice. Well, thank you, Dan, for your time and sharing the story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That was all for today, guys. If you like the video, don't forget to give us a like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to become a citizen of MD Cars and Stories. I'll see you next time.